what's the status of Maffa and Putnam and Trotter? Are they going to be any of them a game time decision, or are there any of them that you feel pretty good about right now?
I think we got a couple that'll be game time decision, but nobody, again, kind of like the other day. I think they're all getting better, but nobody that I'd rule out right now.
With obviously Bockhorst out, Rayburn's been out a little bit, Trotter hurt now. You've got Trent Howard backing those guys up at center. What have you seen from him? How comfortable? What's your comfort level with him? And how far ahead of Linthicum, the true freshman, is Howard?
Oh, he's a good bit ahead. I mean, he's just got a little more time, and although he battled some sickness last year with mono and all that stuff, but and Trent's a savvy player, going to be a really good player. He's just basically a true freshman because he didn't get a lot of opportunity last year, but knows what we're doing, really understands what we do. He's about 295, so he's still undersized a little bit, still developing, but he's got a great frame, and like I said, going to really be a good player. So he's got to be ready. I mean, we got what we got, and I'm confident that he can play center or guard for us and get the job done. Linthicum actually is going to make the trip this week. He's the guy that's still got 3 games left, trying to hold his red shirt. So still just developing and learning. He's been mostly on the scout team, and he and Tristan just down there grinding away, trying to get better, and in that weight room doing the power hour. But we've got about 9 guys, so we got to make it work.
Coach, has Potter had a pretty good week of practice in response to his game on Saturday?
He has. He's had a great week, really good week.
Hey, Coach, in talking about the offensive line, it seems like whenever I've seen them get in there, Paul Teo, Mitchell Mays, guys like that, I've seen flashes. There's also been some times that you see that they haven't played a lot. Do you feel comfortable, with how they're coming along and progressing? And I think they're going to be good players. It just takes snaps.
Oh, yeah. No, they're going to be great players. Teo's a redshirt freshman. He's, it's a hard position, and he's super talented, but still putting it together. He's had a good week of practice. He's gotten a lot of work this week. So I was disappointed in him last week. He wasn't ready, and he goes in on a draw and gets beat inside. And, that's like OL 101. And so just being ready, he's got all the tools. I don't have any doubt he's going to be a good one. Really pleased. Like Rayburn is a redshirt sophomore, and man, he and Trotter are really doing some good things. I'm pleased with what we've seen out of those guys. But that little group of redshirt freshmen, Mitchell and Trent and Teo, Tucker, they're all kind of still coming. And but we love all those guys. And, Mitchell, I think, is a guy that hadn't had as much opportunity. And again, every game down to every play seems like life or death. But they're making good progress, and hopefully they'll get a little more opportunity down the stretch.
I remember Brad Scott used to say that you bring a guy in and you hope by the 3rd year on the offensive line they would be able to contribute. What kind of separates the guys that can come in? Like Marcus Tate has done a really good job as a freshman. Other guys that may take 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
Marcus, I don't think we would have redshirted him, but it would have been nice if we didn't have to start him, and we could have kind of just, like we did with Jackson Carmen, kind of let him back up and bring him in. And it's just really, really hard to play very early in the OL. You got to have a great foundation, man. It's physical. It's a lot of mental. Game is fast. You're going against some of the best athletes out there within D linemen. So it's a tough position, but Marcus has made a lot of improvement for sure. But you remember a guy like Falcinelli starting center on our national championship team. Man, what a player he turned out to be. And he was a guy that it's kind of the typical red shirt freshman, red shirt sophomore. You start to really kind of see it, and then boom, hopefully by their junior and senior year, they're some dudes, and that's kind of how it's always been in that position. And occasionally you'll get a rare guy or two that can not just physically do it, but mentally do it early. But those guys, there's just not many of those guys out there. It's a very much a developmental position in a developmental game, and and that's kind of where we are, especially with John Williams being out. He was a guy we were excited about. I do think Dietrich was one of those rare freshmen that had a chance to really, I think, compete to be a starter this year. And it's just unfortunate that we lost him. Super excited about him. And then, obviously you lose Bach as well. And Taekwon was a guy that I think could have really helped us. He was going into he's a third-year guy as well. So it's just, it takes time in that area and hopefully keeps you guys healthy. But you look at Jordan McFadden, look at his development. He redshirt freshman, was a backup. Last year as a redshirt sophomore, became a first-time starter and did a good job for us. And now he is just as steady as they come and on his way, and he'll be playing in the NFL. Hopefully he comes back, but he'll be well prepared and don't be a guy that'll make it for sure.
Yeah, but this is Matt with Troy Stellato not getting. I guess there's been a lot of injuries, but he still hadn't really gotten any opportunities. Is it playbook? Is it mental? Is it not practice habits? Is there anything in particular that you want to see more of from him?
A little bit of everything, but I will say this: he's really responded, and he's making some good progress. And then, we've got 3 games left that we're gonna try to get something out of him. But a little bit of all of those things. First of all, he missed most of camp. I mean, he came in behind. He missed most of our skills and drills. He was hurt, and then just the transition wasn't easy for him. Practice habits, speed of the game, playbook, you name it, all of it. But he started, but he's behind right out of the gate, and I think him being able to kind of take a step back and really grow and learn. But the good thing is he's really responded. I was just telling Grish yesterday. I mean, he's really improving, man. I'm excited because he's got all the tools, but you gotta be able to put it all together. And so this has been a good year for him, and he's in a good place, and hopefully he'll have a little opportunity somewhere down the line here as we finish up the season. But definitely excited about the progress that he's made and the foundation that he's building to be a good player.
Coach,
Hey, Coach, this is Todd in Greenville. I just wondered what you like about Will Brown and whether you can kind of relate to his journey a little bit.
Well, I mean, he's a grinder is what I like about him. He's a tough kid, unbelievably committed to the program, loves Clemson. He's talented. He's a good player. I mean, he's just one of those guys. We've got probably 4 or 5 walk-ons in our group of receivers that are really, good players if they had more opportunity. But it's a really competitive thing. But he's a grinder, and he's a guy he's just hung in there, man. He's just battled. He had some injuries early part of his career. He had a hard time with his hamstrings, but it's been good to see him healthy and become a contributor. Just smart kid, like I said, committed, tough, and very dependable.
Coach, you've had 5 turnovers in your last 2 games, 0 turnovers in your 2 previous wins before that. I'm guessing a night game, tough environment on the road, that ball security is going to be as much an emphasis as ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we need to not score for the other team. That's first and foremost. Let's don't just turn it over, but let's don't score for the other team. That would be a good trend to change as we start November here. But yeah, I mean, you can't help a team like we're getting ready to play. They're a good offense. They're balanced, and you're on the road. You need to do everything you can to win the field position battle, to win the momentum when you have opportunities, and there's nothing that creates momentum for the other team more than turnover. And so got to be opportunistic and take advantage of our opportunities. We need to create some, but we certainly got to keep them on a long field and we'll take care of the ball, be smart.
It's David again. This has always been Championship November and mathematically still alive. How are you kind of treating this, considering it's a little different than the past 6 or 7 years, but kind of how are you treating, how you attack and motivate for Championship November?
Yeah, well, every game's the best of one, first of all. That's just kind of the way it is. Nothing's changed. It's the biggest game of the year. It's the one we're playing, but it's the championship phase. Regardless of where we are, it's just the championship phase of our journey, of our year. And, we've been a good November team for a long time. And man, we've got to stand on the foundation of this program and go have a great November. And to do that, we need to find a way to go win this dadgum game in Louisville. That's where it starts. But anything can happen. There's a lot of ball to be played. I mean, we certainly aren't where we want to be in that we control our destiny. We don't control our destiny. But we have to focus on what we do control, and that is taking care of the opportunity that we have, finding a way to just win and keep moving forward. We've got 4 days left in our regular season, and all 4 of those days are critical. And so we hope to have a great. We got better in October, and hopefully we can get better in November and find a way to finish really, really strong, because you never know what's going to happen. We've got 2 conference games left, and the best we can do is 6-2 in this league. But we got to take care of the opportunities that are in front of us. And if we do that, we'll live with whatever we get. So a lot of ball left to be played. And then obviously we're going to finish our regular season with the state championship, which is very important to everyone. So just trying to have a great November and the best finish that we possibly can have. That's our focus.
Coach, you didn't play Louisville last year. Your last meeting was 2019, Scott Satterfield's first season. You also faced Satterfield back in 2015 when he was at App State. What kind of impact have you seen him make on the Louisville program, and how well have you gotten to know him over the last few years?
Well, I got to know him a good bit when he was at App, and even when he was down at I think FIU maybe, or FAU, one of those. He came up a few times and we visited. Brought his staff in. So really good guy, really good football coach. But they're tough, they're physical. They have a lot of option principles to what they do, which creates a lot of challenge schematically. They use their personnel well. And they're incredibly balanced offensively and then defensively. They got a good scheme, good players. And again, just well coached. I mean, they're a 4-4 team, but they're a lot better than that. I mean, every game they've had a lot of competitive games, and 2 that they were tied in the last minute of the game, including obviously at Wake Forest. So it's a good football team for sure. And we got to play well, and we got to play our best road game. That's for sure. Something we haven't done yet this year, and hopefully that's something we can get changed in the month of November.
Hey, Dabo, this is Davis Potter, Clemson Insider. Have you had anyone that's had to go into COVID protocol this week that won't be available for Saturday for that?
No, not yet. So, I mean, check back later. But as of Wednesday night, knock on wood, we don't have any of that going on.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys.